New roll up, new vibes. I'm here kicking with my guy CJ. Larry Young is out. PTO, little PTO today for my man Larry Young. CJ, what it do, my dude?
Oh man, feeling real good. We got the eve of sign today. There's already been a lot of smoke on the timeline, a lot of speculation with kids going elsewhere, like it usually is. So like a kid in the candy store, man. With us, this is like the Christmas Eve of college football and things of that nature.
Right, yeah. For the college football fanatics, Wednesday is Christmas, so tonight is pretty much Christmas Eve. We're calling this live stream content that we're putting out signing day Eve. Something we're gonna probably try to keep an annual thing. Right out the gate, we got some Clemson heat. We're gonna do a lot of Big Three coverage. We're gonna cover the Florida Gators, Florida State, and also Miami. But we're gonna also cover some teams around the country that also affect our recruiting a little bit. So we're gonna get right out the gate with some ACC talk. CJ, what we got?
So we got Lawton Swan from Clemson Sports Talk. Lawton, how you doing? And also, you can listen to Lawton on Sports Radio 1400, Fox Sports Radio 1400. Excuse me. Lawton, how's it going?
Guys, I'm doing good. Appreciate you having me on.
Oh, most definitely, it's good to have you. So this has been quite the storm, so to speak, with the Clemson within the last couple of weeks. You have the Clemson Tigers and Dabo, who rarely have decommitments. And then, we, of course, with the coaching changes, things of that nature, you have decommitments coming out of the woodwork. So what is I guess the atmosphere like within the athletic center moving up into signing day for tomorrow?
Yeah, I think, when you look at the three guys from IMG Academy who all decommitted from Clemson over the past couple of weeks with the news of Tony Elliott obviously getting the job at Virginia, and maybe more importantly, all three of these guys being defensive players, Brent Venables going out to Oklahoma. There is certainly an air of concern, I think, amongst a lot of people, especially the fan base, because this is a pretty small class at this point. Whether they get 12, 13, 14 guys, I think they'll be fortunate. But, those were three of the headline players in this recruiting class for Clemson. And Dalen Everett today saying that he's going to go to Georgia. That's certainly a big pickup for Kirby Smart. And that directly affects Clemson as well because it's right there in the Tigers' backyard. So I think there's an adjustment to it. But the thing that Clemson fans, I think, and maybe more importantly, the staff over there have kind of had to buy into is, look, Dabo Swinney's won at an elite level for a long time for a reason. He's doing things the right way. And I don't think that one season where Clemson seemed to take a little bit of a back step, even losing a couple of recruits with the changes in the staff, have people overly frustrated or really flustered. I think they still expect big things moving forward.
And speaking of Everett, I know that prior to his commitment, well, I guess Venables was the big tie in that relationship with Everett. And I guess losing your defensive coordinator does kind of shake up the board with that. Do you see any, I guess, in regards to Clemson recruiting for tomorrow, do you see any big surprises or any changes, or do you see Dabo and staff kind of reshuffling the board after tomorrow and look to sign more in February?
Yeah, that's the thing that's so different is because they've been in the college football playoff all these years, they really haven't been able to invest in this week the way they have this year. And then to have the turnover and losing the players, I had talked to Jahai Campbell just a couple of weeks ago, and he was so excited to come up to Clemson. And now to kind of see that falling off, it is interesting to see what Clemson does. I don't expect anything big tomorrow, nothing that I am aware of that would take place, but far be it from Dabo Swinney and the staff not to pull something off at some point. Today, just a little bit ago, as a matter of fact, about 5:15, they actually had a meeting with Dabo Swinney, a press conference, and he introduced the fact that Brandon Streeter is going to be the offensive coordinator, and a pretty unknown guy, Wes Goodwin, is going to be taking over the defense. And people are looking at Wes Goodwin, and they're like, holy cow, I can't believe this is who Clemson selected. But Dabo Swinney said that this is a guy that he's known all along he wanted to take over when Brent Venables left, and it took him 30 seconds to make the decision. So, again, you just kind of have to trust Dabo Swinney. It's one of those wild hires, and certainly for a position like defensive coordinator at Clemson seems to be a big deal.
Yeah, when I started asking questions in regards to Goodwin, because I was kind of blown by it also, but my response was he was the right-hand man for Venables, and he was also the right-hand man for Kevin Steele when he was the defensive coordinator at Clemson. So those two are pretty big names, are pretty good defensive minds in regards to the college ranks. So for me to hear that kind of blew me, so to speak. So I feel like that may be a good hire that of course the fans and the rest of the college football world won't I guess be head over arms in excitement about. But I feel like in regards to wanted to have that a continuation of the program and what Venables instilled and also what Elliott instilled also. That's pretty much what Dabo has been doing if you follow the hires. If you look at is it Tyler Grisham? Tyler Grisham is the receivers coach, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Tyler getting promoted to the receivers coach, and then CJ getting promoted to the running back coach. That's pretty much what Dabo doing in regards to trying to keep things in house.
Yeah, I think there's a continuity to what this program wants to be and the fingerprint that Dabo Swinney has on it. And so, when you've got a guy and Dabo Swinney trusts Woody McCorvey as much as anybody in the country. People may not even know Woody's name, but he is really the right-hand man for Dabo Swinney more so than anybody. Mm-hmm. And Swinney told a story today that when Woody McCorvey came, he said, you got to bring this Wes Goodwin kid. You got to get this kid in. You got to find a spot for him. And so Clemson's kind of done that. It's not somebody that people are familiar with, but I think because Dabo Swinney has a certain way he wants to run his program, he feels confident. And he said, look, I've got the most to lose. He's, would I hire this guy if I didn't believe in him? I've got the most to lose. So it's going to be interesting to watch. Look, if Clemson's defense comes out, and Bruce Arians had great things to say about him, the head coach at Tampa Bay, said he's going to have an attacking style defense. If Clemson comes out and doesn't miss a beat defensively, this will all be forgotten after the first quarter of football next year. But if the Tigers struggle and they don't look like this Brent Venables-led team, rest assured this conversation will creep back up next fall.
Me being an FSU fan, I personally hope it's a slow process and isn't anything like what Venables had at Clemson, because that was a machine. And speaking of recruiting and Venables was, like you say, he was a pretty good recruiter on the trail. He had a lot of relationships. How do you feel like Goodwin will be able to replace that, or will it be more so a committee approach with Clemson on the recruiting front going forward?
Well, I think the strength at Clemson right now with recruiting is Todd Bates, obviously defensive line coach. He was named assistant head coach today. And then Mike Reed, who's a fantastic defensive backs coach. I think those two guys kind of carry the polish for this group when it comes down to selling the program to recruits. Now, as for Goodwin, Swinney said he's been involved in conversations and phone calls and things of that nature. We've actually seen some pictures of him recently out on the recruiting trail. Whether or not it translates early, I really can't say on that front. But I think the fact that they were able to keep Mike Reed from going to Virginia with Tony Elliott, and the fact that Todd Bates has really kind of become just a guy that I think a lot of kids want to play for. Swinney said he thinks that Todd Bates will eventually be a head coach at some point in his career. But I think having those two guys still locked in is going to significantly help Clemson.
Right,
real quick, Lawton. Do you foresee? I know Dabo has an approach where he don't really want to operate out of the transfer portal. Do you foresee that changing in the future?
I think they're going to have to. I mean, look, the transfer portal combined with NIL to me is obviously in the past 24 months probably changed the game as much as anything we've seen in our lifetimes. And I think Clemson's a program that's right now had the portal only going one way, just most recently losing Joe, the former wide receiver. So I think they're going to try to dip in. There's some conversations about a center whose name I won't try to pronounce from Virginia that Clemson's looking at maybe trying to bring in. But even in that situation, Tony Elliott now at Virginia, ironically, might be the guy that kind of holds that up as he's trying to keep his own player there. So, it's one of the things that I think Clemson and Dabo Swinney are going to have to adjust to. And I would say they've actually been a little bit slow compared to others, but they've had the luxury of being measured in that regard because they've done very well recruiting. The problem is now you start to lose so many guys that the numbers become the issue. And I'm sure y'all saw Lane Kiffin today and his conversations about it. And that's the thing I think we all fear. Nobody doesn't want players to make money. Nobody doesn't want these guys to be able to benefit. But what we really have lost, I think, in this is the sense of loyalty that guys kind of had to have to a program because there was a consequence for leaving. And now when you can just leave willy-nilly that one time, dude, these management of the rosters, I would not want to have to be a head coach in 2021.
Yeah, it's definitely a headache. You can't predict who's going to be there, who's leaving. It's a headache. But that's the game now. We'll see. Do you foresee any changes happening with the way they're doing? You think some rules coming into play?
I've seen some things, and obviously this is a topic that people always want to talk about. I wouldn't mind having a scenario where we put the year back in as a consequence because that made your initial decision so much more important, right? Like if you chose to go play at Oklahoma, you knew you were going to be there for a year. what I'd like to see, and I think the NCAA, this is where they messed up. When people actually had reasons to leave, the NCAA constantly found themselves on the wrong side of it, right? A kid's grandfather gets sick. He wants to go back to Michigan State. They don't want to allow it. They make him sit a year. Like, that's the thing that the NCAA really messed up on, in my opinion, was when they didn't allow legitimate players that wanted to leave chances to leave, and it came back to bite them. And now we've seen, what we're seeing. And I don't know what the fix is, but I do think in some way you got to have a consequence for your decision to go play somewhere, because if not, I think it's just going to be this crazy offseason every year. And I don't know that that's good for the sport. I don't think that the situation in college basketball has been great by eliminating the players' ability to go pro right out of high school. I think that's made a situation where you don't have any continuity amongst teams and players and people to hate, in the sport. Like, we all grew up hating Christian Laettner, right? I mean, everybody, you got to hate him for 4 years. Doesn't happen anymore. You don't get to see that anymore. And I think the sport as a whole, football and basketball, have really been negatively impacted by it. And it's sad, because I would make the argument that this is the best time in the history of college football, given the way that the college football playoff works.
All right. Lawton, a couple questions, last couple questions before we get out of here. Where do you foresee Clemson finishing I guess you could say tomorrow or February in regards to the rankings? And moving forward, do you think Clemson will be back to its regular top 5 recruiting rankings that they've been having over the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think it'll be a top 15 class. Obviously, Cade Klubnik being the big name at the top, and a guy that a lot of people believe can be the next signal caller there at Clemson following DJ Uiagalelei. But, it does feel like this is going to be a little bit of a transition year for this team. We already mentioned the coaching staff changes, and we'll see how that affects things. It's going to be a small group, I expect, tomorrow, and we'll certainly have that covered over on the website. But it's just a different time, because Clemson's been a 14, 15-win team, a college football playoff team, and to be 9-3 and not in the college football playoff and not in the ACC championship has left, I think, some people with some concerns about this program. But I think internally they feel comfortable with the guys they're bringing in, because they've always said they just want, guys to be all in. That's what they want. And it's not about 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. It's about finding guys like a Hunter Renfrow, for crying out loud, who turn out to be just fantastic football players, but maybe more importantly, good people.
Yeah, it's crazy when 9-3 have a lot of people and have people up in norms and wanting to burn buildings down. Real quick,
Lawton, Florida State just gave an extension for 5 wins.
Real quick, Lawton, let the people know where they can find you at.
We're on Twitter at Clemson Sports, and then the website clemsonsportstalk.com, and we do the show live every day from 4 until 6 o'clock. So I appreciate you guys having me on, and keep up the great work.
All right, thanks a lot, Lawton. It's been
Thanks
a pleasure.
a lot, Lawton. My man X has entered the chat.
What's happening, fellas?
Representing and holding it down for my man Larry Young, holding down the Miami portion of the show is X from Canesville, 26 degrees, all of the above.
Good, fellas. What's going on?
Hey man, thanks for holding it down. We got some more guests in the chamber, so let me go ahead and get this out the way. Y'all got a DC? No, I ain't gonna do that right now. We'll do that another time.
Yeah, but we gotta get that hot bar going next. We gotta get them coaches going.
Yeah, we gotta get the coaching boys going, man. Shout out to the great folks at Smoke Trial Lawyers. If you're in an accident, got in a hit and run, injured, or need advice for a lawyer regarding an auto injury, hit up Smoke Trial Lawyers. If you have legal needs through your business, they can take care of you as well. Hit them up at 813-221-1331. Shout out to my guy Bill, man. It's Bill Smoke, a dude that rock with us every signing day. So he hit me up out the blue. I forgot to hit him up. I'm just doing a lot of things going on. Got a little tied up with some things. Bill hit me up. Was like, yo, why y'all ain't hit me up about advertising and sponsoring the signing day stuff you got going on, man? I said, man, me and TJ busy, but let's make this happen. So Bill hit us up. If you guys need anything, trial lawyer, injury, business needs, contracts, hit my man Bill up. Smoke Trial Lawyers. We got a guest.
How's everybody doing?
Pretty good, man.
We got a guest. Well, we want to kick in and talk some Oregon football as well. Oregon had some back and forth shenanigans with Miami over Mario Cristobal. They landed their guy in Dan Lanning out of Georgia. First, tell us. I'm sorry, I don't have your website and everything in front of me. I apologize. It's Torres Sports.
Yeah, no, mTorres Sports is my Twitter handle. So my site is ducksdigest.com, covering the Ducks for SI.
Sports Illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us. First of all, how do you feel about your hire? Before we get into recruiting, how do you feel about Dan Lanning coming from Georgia?
I'm feeling good about the hire. I like the hire. You know, I think for Oregon to take a chance on a young guy, but albeit one who has a really strong track record with some of the top programs in the sport, I think that it says a lot about them, because there were some names that were leaking early in the search that, you know, some people weren't super excited about. You know, some people kind of viewed as safer options. You know, you look at guys like Justin Wilcox at Cal, Chip Kelly reunion was on the table, Kalani Sitake at BYU. You know, all good coaches, but I think that they really had to take a chance here, get a guy who has a good track record recruiting. And, you know, you look at the Georgia defense, and obviously there's some brilliant minds out there in Athens, but Lanning's gotten that thing humming pretty well, and he's done nothing but, you know, win since he's got there.
Are you concerned with hiring guys from the Southeast?
Yeah, that was my question, man. Y'all got to stop hiring these South guys, man.
No, that's a good question. And, you know, Lanning was actually asked that at his press conference yesterday, you know, here in Eugene. That's where I'm at. So I was at that conference, and I'm not concerned about it, because I think coaching stability is so hard to find in college football, unless you're at, you know, Alabama, where Nick Saban's been forever. You know, obviously Kirby's looking pretty entrenched there at Georgia. So it's hard to find coaching stability. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying about Oregon needing to take a chance, because it feels like they're really in this national championship window. If they were just able to take care of business against Utah this year, we're having a totally different conversation right now, and maybe the Ducks are in the playoffs. So, and you also have to look at Lanning's situation, right? He said that he said as much yesterday with, you know, I went to William Jewell College, the small D2 school in Missouri, I believe. So he's saying, you know, I think this could be a final stop for me. There's not really any jobs that could come calling that could pull me away from here. So if everything goes well for Lanning, it looks like he's going to be pretty happy in Eugene.
Real quick, what about Brian Harsin? I felt coming in, that was a name that Oregon should have kind of honed in on. I think he kind of wants to get back out to the West Coast, has West Coast ties. We were just talking about, you know, the Southeast guys, has West Coast ties, and I feel like that would have been a job that he would have been at for the long haul. Also, seems like he kind of wants out of Auburn from what I'm looking at.
Yeah, he was a name that had kind of been you know, circled around a little bit during the search. That was what was so weird about this search, is that they were Oregon was holding their cards super close to the vest. That's why, I mean, Lanning came out of, you know, pretty much out of left field, and it was just really last minute. But I think, yeah, Harsin's a solid coach, and you obviously look at his track record. You know, things aren't amazing at Auburn, but, you know, when Chris Peterson left Boise, he had that thing humming. And I think he would have been a name that I would have been excited to see as well. Just when you look at the Bronco program, you know, they're obviously in the Mountain West, I believe, if that's correct. So they're not, you know, they're not like, they don't have the allure of a SEC or Pac-12, ACC, Big Ten program, but they've always been one of those teams that's kind of right around the top 25 that I feel like schools kind of take for granted, and they give people a good shot. So I think that could have been a name if, you know, it wasn't Lanning. He's a guy that I think maybe should have gotten some more attention, but I don't believe that he was interviewed throughout this process for Oregon.
Real quick, are you guys holding over any staff from the Cristobal era?
That's the big one of the biggest unknowns right now, because when Athletic Director Rob Mullins was talking to us on Monday last week, when Mario had officially made his decision that he was going to Miami, he said he's going to wait until he had an interim in place, or he was going to wait rather until he knew who was following Mario immediately to Miami, and to name an interim. So we're still waiting to see who is going to be retained on this staff. You know, there have been some names that you know, Alex Mirabal, offensive line coach, is going to be following him out to Miami. I don't think Miami's officially announced that, but you could definitely see the writing on the wall with that one, just because of how close they are. And, you know, he's an offensive line guy, and they grew up together, and they've had a really long friendship. And then Aaron Feld, strength coach, is another guy to watch that might be heading out to Miami as well. So those are the biggest names And then a lot of the guys that are on the current staff have actually already gotten jobs elsewhere. You look at Tim DeRuiter, he's going to be the new DC out in Lubbock with Texas Tech. Safeties coach Marcel Yates is going to be following him there. And then Nevada's hiring Ken Wilson, linebackers coach, here to head that program. So he makes his way back home for a job that he's certainly deserving of. So a lot of people have already left. So it's only a certain number of people that can still be retained here. But it's something that Landon's got to figure out here pretty soon.
All right, we here for recruiting, man. It's signing day eve. This is a signing
real,
day
real,
eve
real
live
quick, real
show.
quick. Sec.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Real quick. So, since we're talking about coaching in regards to Miami and Oregon, now we got some FSU smoke too. What are you hearing about?
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, what are you hearing about Killen Dillingham and the possibilities of him joining Dan Lanning in Oregon?
Yeah, the latest I've been kind of hearing about that is that we might not even have a decision until tomorrow around that National Signing Day. I think 247 Sports has been doing a pretty good job with their site. That it's been
have a hat on the table.
I don't know, but I think the thing that's interesting with Dillingham is I feel like it's definitely a good opportunity for him. And it's going to be interesting to see because that's the big hire that everybody's looking at for Lanning to make, right? Because he's a defensive-minded guy. So I think it's crazy because he's even younger than Lanning. He's only a 31-year-old coach. So I don't know. This could be his
third P5 offensive coordinator job if he does in fact get it.
Yeah, so I think he's a guy I want to learn more about. But from what I've learned and researched, he's done pretty well at his previous stops. And another kind of cool dynamic here is Bo Nix entered the portal, and he was with Bo Nix at Auburn when he was doing really well. So I wonder if the transfer portal is going to come up in our recruiting talks, but that could be an interesting reunion if they both come out to Eugene.
Yeah, it is interesting.
I know y'all got McClendon on y'all staff still. He's the intern coach, right? Yeah, but that's another name that's supposed to be. Well, we got the rumors that he's supposed to be coming down to Miami too. You heard anything about him?
There's nothing new on him right now, and he's obviously in the weirdest position because he is the interim right now. So you feel like no decision's really going to be made public until after the bowl game, I would think.
Yeah, after the bowl game.
But he's the guy I'd argue is the most important for Oregon to retain right now. You look at the wide receiver recruits that he's brought in have been just tremendous athletes, but just with the way that the offense was ran last year and the quarterback play, they really haven't gotten utilized. That's kind of why you saw guys like Micah Pittman leave, who I believe is taking an official visit to FSU if he hasn't already.
And Dillingham is tied to him, so that's another dynamic. If you guys do hire Dillingham, does he come back or just a weird situation, so to speak. A lot of things has to play out. But go ahead.
Hold on. Don't like some schools have that. Don't some schools have a rule where if you enter the portal you can't come back?
That's based on the coach.
I think it's on a case-by-case basis, depending on, how dynamics go at certain schools. I think the door, for the most part, I would say the door is usually left open, but it is pretty rare that we see someone enter the portal and then ultimately end up staying. But that was a tough decision for him to make. He made a YouTube video today just kind of explaining like the thought process and everything, and he said that's ultimately what was best for him.
Do you think Landon's going to be able to go ahead, CJ. You good?
No, so like you said about recruitment, go ahead. Go ask your question.
Do you think Dan Lanning gonna be able to salvage this class? Y'all had some exits when he took over. I mean, when Mario exited. Do you think he can salvage this class, or who do you see any splash gets for tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be anything too crazy tomorrow. The timing of this coaching search was just brutal for Oregon, right? They still have a bowl game to play in. And you just saw after Cristobal left, it felt like Oregon's national brand, their national reach in this 2022 recruiting class just vanished. Like, just guy after guy was just backing off their pledge to Oregon. You saw Cameron Williams and Kelvin Banks flip to Texas in the time since. So, salvage is an interesting word. I mean, I think he's definitely capable of getting maybe some guys back into the fold, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. I look at a guy like TJ Dudley as someone who would be a priority target for me if I'm Dan Lanning, because he is a defensive guy. So I figured he'd have an easier time getting back in the picture with him. And then he was also saying at the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game that he doesn't foresee himself signing early unless like something drastic happened. So I think for Lanning, I'm not expecting too much tomorrow. Obviously you want to have as many guys that are currently in the fold, hopefully put that pen to paper. But even for the guys that are committed that maybe don't sign, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because if they're not signing their letter of intent somewhere, that means that they're still, open, right? That's a window of opportunity for him to introduce himself, to hopefully get in front of these guys maybe, or at least get them on the phone and work to build that relationship. So I'm kind of working myself on, maybe resetting expectations for this class, because obviously this early signing period is become the main one, really, right? When you're looking at the recruiting calendar, and then February, I should say, is kind of I don't know, it's just not as splashy as people would say. So I think certainly top 3 probably as far as Pac-12 classes go, because Lincoln Riley's picking up a ton of steam. So I think maybe top 3 class in the Pac-12 is probably reasonable for him. Maybe hoping to stay around the top 15 national ranks, I would maybe guess, just throwing that out there. And then they got to hit the portal hard for sure.
All right, man. I appreciate you hanging out with us, man. Greatly appreciate it. Tell people where they can find you at.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. You can follow me on Twitter at mtorressports, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Oregon Football Max Torres, and then you can find more of my written work at ducksdigest.com over on SI.
All right, man. Thanks for hanging out.
All right, appreciate you guys.
All right.
Once again, man, shout out to the great folks at Smoke Trial Lawyers. Bill, what it do? How you feeling, man? How y'all feeling about tomorrow? National Signing Day. It don't have the same juice that it used to have. I think early signing days used to be, in the new era, used to be the thing, and it seems like it's losing some luster as well, man. What's y'all vibes like?
Because of the portal, man. The portal makes it like, you sign a kid, and then next year they in the portal. So it's like, what's the sense of getting all hyped for?
Yeah, you got to recruit them
and
for
also,
4 years,
man, this
4 years.
This portal kind of changed the game in regards to reshuffling of your board. Typically, say for instance, with this early signing day, you miss on a couple blue chip guys that's at the top of your board. After that fact, you kind of reshuffle your board and look at some flyers, under the radar guys, or someone on your board who you didn't offer that may be still available. You kick the tires on them. Nowadays, these programs are really saying, "Nah, we're not going to go that route. We're just going to try to replace that scholarship with some portal action."
Yeah, that's what a lot of teams doing. And that's why I was upset with Diaz on the fact that he just basically said he didn't want no high school kids. He wanted straight portal kids. And I was like, well, how you going to fill a team with that? Because if you get a one and done kid, they gone. So now you got to go back and get another portal kid, and you don't have no depth.
Yeah, I think the portal, it could be for I think the portal to the state, but if you want to really shop in the portal, that's for quick fixes, quick plugs. But if you want to build your program, you got to do it through the recruiting cycle. You see Saban, Ohio State, Georgia, they build those classes with their roster through the recruiting cycle. And then they pick through the portal, specific needs and things of that nature. I feel like that's what it should be mainly for. But you got to still build through the high school ranks.
Yeah, we got my man Steve Wiltfong in the chamber.
The
GOAT himself. You in the tunnel, Steve?
Fellas, you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Yeah, we here, man.
Good. Hey, man, I'm standing in the wind. Yeah. Who are
it's
we
all
with?
good.
I need this show tonight because it's been a long ass day, and
right.
I just know you guys.
Lost you for a little second there.
I said I know y'all are having fun on here, and I want to have some fun with y'all.
Yeah, we hanging out a little bit, Steve. It's National Signing Day Eve. A lot of commitments today. I was shocked by the type of work and the activity y'all getting on that side. Were you shocked by anybody by today? I seen Dalen Everett went to Georgia.
Yeah, that was as expected, though, brother. We
right.
It looked like it was trending Georgia's way when he decommitted from Clemson. Took that visit to Alabama. You obviously never rule out Nick Saban in Alabama, but Georgia was in that one for a long time. They were a major contender for him back when he picked Clemson. So, those relationships were strong. And Kirby, they got three DB coaches recruiting DBs. Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp, Coach Adai. That's a pretty strong trifecta when you're out there recruiting DBs. But I don't know if they're going to have a perfect DB finish tomorrow. I've liked Georgia for a long time for Kamari Wilson, but I'm not sleeping on the Gators or the Seminoles going into tomorrow.
The Seminoles, this could be pretty interesting. Let's talk, Steve. Let's talk.
And Julian Humphrey, getting reoffered by Florida today, Billy Napier, I know that's giving him something to think about too. So tomorrow could get real exciting, because I don't know if I have a good pulse on some of what I don't know if these kids have a good pulse of what they're going to do right now.
Well, I got a question for that. Do you think Georgia even has space for Kamari Wilson? Because they're sitting at 27 commits right now.
Everybody got space for Kamari Wilson.
Yeah, that's true too, right?
Yeah.
What are we talking? It's not a space thing.
Yeah,
I don't think there was some smoke about maybe Julian Humphrey being pushed
they got
out
space
of,
for Marvin Jones Jr. too, if he comes too. But
absolutely.
Golly.
Oh man.
Absolutely. There was some smoke about maybe Julian Humphrey being pushed out of the Georgia class. Is that a fact? 'Cause I seen something to the contrary of that as well.
I haven't heard that. Doesn't mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. I just know he's excited about his Florida offer. He hit me up this morning and tagged me in the offer, and then we got to talking about it. And he's just really excited. He's always liked Florida. He was committed to Florida once, so he's been there a couple times. He knows what it's like in the swamp. And then I think he likes Coach Napier's track record. So, tomorrow will be interesting.
Steve, what do you think about Billy Napier as a recruiter? What's your opinion of him?
Well, I think that the number one trait that he's going to bring to the table, I talked to a couple people that have worked alongside him or worked for him, and he is incredibly organized in everything he does, including recruiting. So I think that he's going to put his hands on the board. The board is going to be well put together of, the order of the targets and who they're pushing for, who are priorities of those prospects. And then he's going to be involved in recruiting those kids. Louisiana had the number 1 ranked class a couple times in the Sun Belt. And I think that was very important for him. He's competitive as hell. If they're keeping score or something, he wants to be at the top. And you look at what they did at Louisiana too, as he started to get more and more of his players in. Guys that they evaluated, guys they felt good about. He got there and inherited someone else's players and still went to the Sun Belt championship game. So that shows you that he's a good coach. You just give him something, he'll mold it. But when he started getting his own players in there, they got better every year. And then won the damn Sun Belt this year, So he deserved this opportunity. Y'all know as well as anybody, the SEC is, just because you earned an opportunity doesn't mean you're going to succeed in it. But coming in, I like his chances. He's an authentic person. He's a good dude. Comes from a great family. He's been around football his whole life. He knows how to treat people. We'll see what that adds up to at Florida, because the SEC is as competitive as ever.
Right. I got a couple more about recruits, and I'm gonna let these guys get their stuff. I know they got some wish lists. What do you think about my man Shamar James, and also
you guys there? I lose y'all.
Shamar James and Sean Washington are 2 other guys that the Gators are watching tomorrow. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. I got you now, brother.
Shamar James and Sean Washington are 2 guys the Gators are looking forward to trying to figure out what their decisions are tomorrow. What's your opinion on them? What do you think? You think they flip?
Well, I don't think so on Sean unless something changes. I think he's still good to go with Georgia, talking to his people and talking to some other people. That was as of like 4:30. So we all know on this call, some at 4:30 might not be the same at 9:30, but it is what it is. It is what it is when we talk right now. Shamar, he, obviously he loves Florida too, was committed there once. I think he's hit it off with Napier and them. He visited Georgia last weekend, had a good time, but I didn't hear like he was a silent commit or anything. And then certainly a kid from Mobile, a priority for Alabama. You got to assume they're in the middle of it too. But, I think that Florida's in an okay spot there. Florida's got this dude that works there off field, Chase Clark, who's from the state of Alabama, who's done a good job recruiting that state alongside the staff. And he could be even a little bit of a wild card for Florida there.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. All right, Steve, let's talk about one of the big recruiting. I guess one of the big recruitments that's going to come down tomorrow that everyone's kind of looking forward to. Marvin Jones Jr. What are you kind of hearing with Marvin in regards to his recruitment? I know he's been keeping things kind of close to the vest in regards to not tipping his hat.
Yeah. Well, yesterday I was hearing, yesterday I liked where Georgia stood for Marvin Jones Jr. Today, I don't know about it. I don't know if, I think it could go a couple different ways. I know he's reconnected with Sal Sinceri. I know that he got back with Lincoln Riley and Shamar Kane. I know that he talked with, did I say Norvell? Talked with Norvell. And I know Adam Fuller's working it hard for Florida State too. So I still think that could be, a source told me that's going to be a battle till 4 o'clock. I think early playing time is something that's kind of important to him too. So be interesting to see where he thinks that he has the best opportunity to do that. I think he's the number 1 edge rusher in our rankings. So a guy like that, I figure is tough to keep off the field wherever he goes. But y'all know that some of those places with that pedigree, it's a little harder for an 18-year-old to beat out a grown-ass 20-year-old man that's going to get drafted early,
See, that's the reason why I think Florida State, if that's the case, Florida State may be the best option because he might be better than some of those 20, 21-year-old guys that we got versus the other teams they're considering.
I think he could go in and play at FSU, and that's what I kept telling people.
He's going to lose their week.
Like,
he's coming to whoop that. Go ahead, X.
I've been telling people, like, that's a school where he can go play right away because he has that body frame already. As Steve said, I think he's probably the best pass rusher in the nation. That's just a perfect fit. Like, my dad went to the school. I could go play right away. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in my hometown state. Like, that's just a perfect fit for him.
I know FSU has also been pitching some NIL opportunities at him also, and I feel like he could be.
Oh, man, what's going on with that, man? Y'all got
real quick. Yeah, I want to ask Will Phone's opinion on a couple things real quick, Steve. We were talking in our group chat about the transfer.
Can I get in that group chat?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, we need you in the group chat. We need all. We need give us the crystal balls before you drop them. That's all we need. But we was talking about the transfer portal and then high school recruiting, how it's affecting that. What's your opinion on the future of recruiting in the transfer portal? Like, how do you think this is all going to play out in the future?
Well, this year you're actually seeing more difference makers in the portal, right? Like at first you thought the portal is going to be guys that weren't playing, that were unhappy. But I just think, now you got guys in the portal that can play, that got it on tape, Maybe it's guys that are balling at a lower level looking to play on a bigger stage, or just guys that aren't happy where they're at but are good players. So the portal is certainly, an exciting place for colleges to go there and get some immediate difference makers. So it's going to, I think with some schools, you're going to see them take less high school guys. So obviously the domino effect of that is that there's going to be less scholarships given to high school players overall. And then, some of those guys are going to have to go play FCS, or JUCO or what have you, or a year of prep or whatever.
And the thing about that is it's kind of like another cycle that's kind of how can I put this? I feel like we're kind of moving into a cycle phase in which those guys go to those schools, like you just said, and then within a year or two, they're back in the portal, and then they're getting recruited by those big P5 schools based off the production they had at those smaller schools. So I feel like we're kind of going into a new norm with this.
You there, Steve?
Maybe we lose him.
I think we probably lost him, man. Let's keep it moving a little bit. If he pops back in,
I had a couple more questions, man. We got to get him back in if he pops back.
Hey, but what's going on with that fan that's saying he gonna do? Pay anything for the NIL deal for Marvin Jones?
Man, you know how fans get around this time of year, man. They get real crazy when the pressure comes on. Like remember the Tibbs recruitment a couple years ago with. We had the kid. We had the guy said he has Seminole features and he's born to be a Noel and all that.
Oh, that was nuts,
man. These fans get real weird when it comes close to signing. But no, FSU has put a pretty good package together for Travis Hunter and Marvin Jones Jr. in regards to their NIL opportunities.
Hey, real quick, man. I know we said like Bugatti Bill he said he was gonna vibe tomorrow. He wasn't really gonna sign a lot of people. He was gonna chill. But if we pull off some of these names, they rattling off.
That's big time if they do.
Ignorant, like I'm gonna be crazy ignorant on the timeline.
Steve is goofy though, saying that it could possibly be us and y'all. But I feel like with y'all getting the last visit, it'll probably y'all might.
With Kamari Wilson. I think it's gonna be Florida. I know I was trying to get some info with him with T-Rob and stuff like that, because they was trying to get him come back down to Miami, and once y'all got Corey Raymond, that was it. It was like
it was just Corey, Jamar Chaney. I think I don't think I know has a mentor relationship with him, and they're from the same local hometown, Fort Pierce. So we had to tie in with that. So immediately we had relationships there. Raymond, all the elite DBs got a relationship with Raymond. So it was just like the easy. And he wanted to commit to us back with the old staff, but they fumbled the bag on that big time. So he's a Gator fan. We'll see how it play out. I'm not putting anything in the bag, bro. Kirby a bad man on the recruiting. I'm gonna give him his credit. He's a bad man. So y'all
was saying, do they got room? I don't know if y'all remember this years ago. It was what was the D lineman that signed with Bama and they ended up gray shirt dude?
The kid from Dreas Parks from Jacksonville.
Yeah, right? I was like, man, they could do that. And
Dreas Parks. That's the name. I remember that name vividly because we was in it at one point. FSU. Recruitment. That man took a gray shirt offer to go to Bama. Man, that's if it's a will, it's a way, right?
X, what y'all got cooking for tomorrow, man? Let's talk a little Miami recruiting. What you guys got cooking on the burner?
I don't like to use this word because it has backfired on us tremendously, the silent commit stuff. But we got some, besides Najee Kelly, that's probably going to be the only big name that actually commits to us tomorrow. I'm still iffy with Earl Little Jr. The Cyrus Martin, they say he's supposed to commit on the 8th in January. Got good words with Kevin Coleman.
What's the special with the January 8th date? Anything special?
That's the bowl game. The All-American game.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
So a lot of them still that's the thing. Like they'll commit, maybe sign, and just want to announce it, and then just hold off to the All-American game to announce it. Put the hat on stage and all that. But good words with Kevin Coleman. Obviously, we didn't get the big boys, the tackles. They went to Texas, man. Texas handing out $50,000 a year, so
that ain't bad. Nice little teacher salary.
Couldn't do that, man. But we'll have a pretty decent. We won't be low no more.
Right. Yeah. We're both operating from a deficit. We do you think you finished higher than me? Because we got rid of some people on purpose. So if we finish higher, y'all, that would be crazy.
Where y'all at right now? Y'all
we're in the projects. I ain't gonna lie.
See, okay, we losing 2 commits. We're gonna lose 2 commits that's committed to us.
So y'all ain't finished purging yet.
Once Mario got there, I don't think they was in conversation with them 2 guys. So and they not big targets like that for us anyway.
Right.
So but in February,
Jaleel Skinner was quite the rumblings on
So that's another one. I got good words about it, but hey, that's Bama. You know what I'm saying? So I don't put nothing past Bama.
I'm surprised they let him go out to go vacation down there like that.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah, he could look right. He could look up to y'all. But as far as us, I think I got 3 locks for tomorrow for us. I think Thomas will be a lock, the safety out of Niceville. I thought Julian Armella, he's a lock. Tyree West, the defensive tackle that's currently committed to Georgia. I feel like those 3 will be locks. Aside from that, man, we could possibly be losing Mortimer.
What's that rambling? Because I heard somebody ask me that, and I was like, huh?
Man, it's been crazy the last couple of weeks. So he visited West Virginia a couple of weeks ago. The staff knew about that, and they were kind of cool with it.
West Virginia?
Right. There's only 3 teams that really been pursuing him. Well, after he committed, those teams kind of cooled off on him. But West Virginia and Louisville, they kind of stayed high on the kid. He visited Louisville last week, and Mike and the staff had no clue about it. So.
I don't know what they got in West Virginia for him to turn down the Buns in Tallahassee, because West Virginia ain't even a better program.
But they got West Virginia got a staff that's hitting South Florida hard, like real.
They always camp out down here.
They hit hard, so I can see.
I think Holiday started that up there with them.
Yeah. I can see it, but I don't think y'all lose more than them.
I think he comes to his senses. Now, hopefully, the staff don't say we're fed up and just move on because we need him.
No, y'all can't be telling nobody no shit like that.
No, we can't. We can't, especially that type of guy. We're not in that elite regard yet, so we just got to kind of wait it out. And I think we feel like a little lame duck in the situation, but I think he does come to his senses. Like, the best situation for him is FSU because, like y'all seen our receivers play, man. This kid could probably play right now. I think he could also be, depending if we get Michael Pittman, which I think we do. Well, I guess that depends on if Dillingham stays or not. But he could be our number one punt returner just off rip, just like that.
He better be.
Who call y'all plays? Dillingham call the plays or Mike call the plays?
Dillingham called the plays last year. Mike called the plays in the past. He was a play caller at Memphis. He called some last year, but Dillingham had the play calling this upcoming year. But the I guess for him to go to Oregon, the pros of that would be his own offense completely. Like, Dan Leonard's going to give him the keys. He's going to be running his own offense. He's going to be able to hire his own offensive staff in some regards. And of course, just being back on the West Coast, he's originally from the West Coast. With FSU, it's still Mike Norvell's offense, and Mike will always have say-so and things of that nature. If he goes to Oregon, he'll have full reins. And like I said, this will be his third P5 coordinator job already. And I'm pretty sure that'll lead him into his next stop as a head coach if he's successful there. But he also could be a head coach here if he's successful too. If he's successful here too, because Mike has a track record again, guys.
I'm also asking because Michael Pittman was deciding on if Dillingham was staying. He has a relationship, or
Dillingham's been the primary recruit on him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's been the guy that's been doing all the in-home visits. He's been the guy that's doing all the heavy lifting for Michael Pittman. And it'd be interesting. I tried
the time the GOAT chiming in. Shout out to the GOAT, man.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Dilly does end up taking that offensive coordinator job with the relationship that he has with Michael Pittman. Does that reel him back into Oregon? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
How many guys y'all expecting to sign in your class this second?
We have 16 right now. As far as high school, like I said, I got those 3 that are locked, so that'll put us at 19. And then it just depends on the heavy lifters. So say for instance, you got a guy like Junior that wants, and of course he'll be a take. If Coleman does one in, he'll be a take. Just basically this heavy lifting guys. It was another name I just had in my mind that kind of just went off the script. My apologies.
Y'all whiffing that wide receiver. What y'all gonna do about that? What's y'all backup plan?
Hit the portal hard, man. That would be my guess. But you got to hit that portal hard. But I've always been in the same. I feel like Travis Hunter is a better receiver. He'll be a better receiver than corner. I think he's the best receiver in the country by far. The stuff he does on the field, that receiver is just special. He's electrifying with the ball.
You say y'all gonna play him both ways, like it's Pop Warner, right?
I'd rather just play him as strictly at receiver, to be honest with you. Now, if he starts at cornerback, then they'll have some plays like Charles Wilson, Chris Gamble, where he get like 10 to 15 snaps a game.
Right.
But I feel like a kid like that, he shouldn't have no less than 10 attempts a game, passing and running. He just needs the ball in his hands. He's a playmaker.
Yeah, man. I don't think like we was never gonna have a full class. So I always said like 15 kids would be the most, and then probably could go to 18 in February, and that's the most. Like everything else gonna have to be portal, because Diaz just didn't do a good job at that. Like, so
who is give me your DC and your OC board right now? You guys missed
out the DC board. Okay, now the Joe Brady thing, it's a funny situation because the deal should have happened, but Joe Brady is not going to commit to any university past 2 years. Like he's going to come and he's going to go. Mario wants stability, and Joe Brady's not going to.
I like that hire for y'all because he said he didn't like to recruit too. So I like guys like that. When people say they don't like to do shit, like it's such an important thing, you get him on the staff. I like that energy at the top.
I mean, makes sense. But when you got other guys who can recruit, they do the job for you. You know what I'm saying? But so that situation ain't happening. They throwing Kendall Brown's name out there. I'm hearing Ken Dorsey, but I don't think the Ken Dorsey situation will happen because eventually Ken Dorsey wants to be a head coach or he wants to stay in the NFL. So Kendall Brown is like the name that they really bringing up a lot. There's some other names, but I doubt if they do that. On defensive side, Glenn Schumann, Will Muschamp, obviously.
Get out of here, bro. Cut the shit.
I mean, there's the names, but I know Will won't come. Glenn maybe, but Will won't come. Derek Mason.
No, I think Will didn't Will just sign the deal to be
Will might call T Rob and say, man, come on up here. And
that's the rumors that they saying he gonna call T Rob and tell him come up to Georgia.
I'm trying to tell you.
So
you trying to get Will trying to come get your mans.
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
Will love T Rob.
That's his main man. So
butter and jelly right there.
That's his main man. But Schumann was the first name that they was going after regardless. And then it was Will, but they said they already knew that Will didn't want to come down to Miami. So
y'all fucked Oregon, and Oregon fucked y'all right back.
Yeah,
when they got landing, they threw all that shit off. They was reading y'all messages. Y'all was in their spaces talking greasy, and they said, you know what?
Let's throw a wrench in all this.
Yeah, let's throw a wrench in this shit and hire Landing.
Yeah. I mean, but like I said, I still think we could get Glenn because even if Glenn is the coach DC, they're not gonna pay him what we'll pay him to be just the full
Georgia.
What they gonna pay Will and Glenn both the same amount?
Georgia is absolutely nuts up there. They'll pay. They don't give a shit. They poach our nutritionists.
So they already saying they might have to pay. They might have to pay
our janitors. Like they took everybody from Mullen's staff, bro. Like our DB coach, all that shit, bro. They gonna pay.
Georgia so they have to pay. They have to pay Will Muschamp $2 million. What you think they gonna pay Glenn? He ain't gonna get no million.
I don't know, bro. I don't count no folks' money, but they sling it.
They got money. They got money to blow. They will blow it. But
let me know, my man. I think my man Nick Delatorre is gonna be pulling up soon. We're gonna start getting people from the network to start pulling up. What the Georgia guys at? Let's get those guys on here. You know they got some greasy talk. See what these boys at.
Yeah, but tomorrow could be real interesting. I think FSU finished within the top 10 of the recruiting cycle. Just by adding those three, they should, because looking at people that's kind of behind FSU, I don't foresee them kind of adding too much to jump FSU, so to speak. So we'll just see how that play out. They have to be something.
Pretty much everybody that's in the top 10, between top 10 and top 15, is going to be there because everybody's going to start dapping into the portal. They're going to say, we got what we want for high school, and we're going to go to the portal.
Yeah, I think tomorrow is the sign. I think February is going to be real dry for high school kids, just because the portal has just changed things so much, man.
But some schools are like holding off because I think it's a game being played a little bit here. I think X was talking about a little bit on the timeline, as well as like offers being pulled back, being held. Like coaches are playing games with the portal and also with the high school recruits, trying to figure out numbers a little bit. So all this shit is uncharted waters. Everybody trying to figure this shit out. Everything being figured out on the fly. The coaches trying to figure out. The players are trying to figure it out. You've seen some players back off their decisions for tomorrow, like big names. So everybody trying to figure some shit out. So tomorrow's going to be very interesting in a lot of ways.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I still think February, I mean, obviously it's not as big as the early, but I still think February going to be interesting because
February, the due date. Like, it's going to be more interesting than tomorrow.
Yeah, it is, because now you're going to say, okay, the kids that didn't sign, okay, well, it's the team, now they need me. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't get that kid they wanted from the portal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, say y'all miss out on receivers. And then y'all go out the receivers in the portal. Y'all don't get receivers in the portal. And then there's other receivers still waiting to sign in February. Bam, double back.
Shit, I'll be 100% cool with it, man. But I don't. It's just I don't know how the staff is moving. I really think.
Harlan got a quick question. Harlan, come in, slide in. I got something. I got to make a quick stop, real quick. I got to log out. But what you got, Harlan?
Yeah, so I just saw some stuff on Coleman. Like, I saw that he's gonna sign his letter of intent.
Yeah, he doesn't announce it to the
Friday.
Announce it.
It's a Friday or tomorrow.
How's that not gonna get leaked?
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like how it was back in the day. Whenever it was just a February signing and we had those Army Bowl games, the kids enrolled early and they announced that those games, they just signed the information and just enrolled that school. That's pretty much how it's going to work with Coleman also.
Basically just sign and send your letter in and just wait to hold off to the announcement.
Yeah.
So that won't get leaked out. That
it possibly could. You know how that goes. It possibly could.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be like, there's no way that's not getting leaked. Like if you see 10 crystal balls come in, you're like, okay, this is where he signed to. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out, especially in today's game where everybody's trying to break the news now.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say, well, if he commits to Miami, you better know somebody finna leak it. Like somebody in Miami gonna leak it.
Yeah,
he's gonna be making his announcement when everyone knows who he's got to pick. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what it is nowadays, anyways. Because those crystal balls usually come in before the commitment. Anyway, so coming into the actual announcement, we typically know where they're going. But it is a good point, Harlan. You know, we're like almost a month away, so to speak, from when he actually announces it, and it's going to be it's bound to get out by then.
Yeah.
Man, I wish Steve would have still been. He was dropping some heat. I was like,
man, I had a couple more questions for Steve. Man, it was about to get real live.
Steve the GOAT, man, that's the man right there.
Oh, yeah.
Has there ever been like other than Marvin Jones, where literally nobody knows? Like, does anyone really know where he's going? Like, I have no idea. I know Josh put in his crystal ball, but like, he's the only one. Like, where's he going?
And then even with Josh's CB, he was like, man, look, I really don't kind of know. It's just kind of putting tea leaves together, so to speak. It can really go anyway. So yeah, this kid has really held this stuff close to the vest. I don't think. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen a recruitment where a kid only has one crystal ball, and that one crystal ball is still, I don't really know. Yeah, especially this late in the game.
Y'all still talking about Coleman?
Yeah. No, Marvin Jones. I mean, but it's other kids like that. Like everybody going crazy about the Shamar Stewart situation. Oh, he's Texas A&M all the way, and I'm like, yeah, but maybe not, because Texas A&M they pushing for a commitment in the signing. And he like, nah, like I'm gonna wait to February. You know what I'm saying? So that holds good for UM.
Yeah, that definitely does hold good.
Yeah, the longer that he don't commit, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's the game we playing with the new coaches, new hires. We playing the pushback game.
Yeah,
whoever we get tomorrow is a real plus, especially like the way we approached it. We want.
And I think it may be Florida, man. With us kind of with Thompson probably being in the fold for us. I think that kind of does open the door for y'all with Kamara in regards to that commitment. We view Thompson as a safety. Now I'm 100% sure, like you said, for those type of guys, you find space. Now if he does want in, they're going to take him regardless. But it's kind of putting the tea leaves together, man. It may be Florida.
Right. We'll see what's up. It maybe still Georgia. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like people going to screen grab and talk crazy.
Right.
If we making crazy predictions, but I feel real good. I said it when a lot of Gator fans was on Twitter when he first got visited and they were saying he was trolling. I was like, nah, man, this guy got real relationships with real people on his staff, and he not playing games with people he got real relationships with, bro. This ain't Twitter. And here we are, bro. National Signing Day Eve. And there's some smoke in the air, bro. If this shit go down, y'all mute me. I'm gonna be very ignorant. And if it don't go down, I'm gonna mute y'all.
The right way.
Yeah, you know how it go. We got the UGA guys, bro. These guys, they'll never show up. They found out they wouldn't get.
They didn't probably want to get in Trav. They want to get in Trav, Kamari, and Junior. So they definitely get ghosted.
Like they still gonna have like number one class. They still don't want to be.
Yeah, like I gonna have number one class, number two class anyway. So
they got damn 30 damn commits and tripping.
I'm gonna celebrate these little flips like it's Percy Harvin and Tim Tebow.
If you guys pull off Kamar, that's big time. That's really big time.
All those guys are Julian Humphrey, him coming back in the fold.
Yeah, the Humphrey one. I think y'all could get that one because like Steve said, he loved it. Florida. I don't know why that situation happened anyways.
He was watching Dan Mullen at first because he flipped on their watch. So he was watching that season go down. You know, like I said, Smart the man been stealing everything we got. Like recruits, recruits say he just been pulling up on us, taking our shit. And we just needed somebody else to say, nah, dog, you can't just come take our lunch money no more.
Man, Francis Norton, man. Why y'all ain't going after Francis Norton no more?
Come on, X. Come on,
when my boy Luke say, now I do feel Luke in that regard. Like as the head coach, you should reach out and have that conversation yourself. You shouldn't push that on to nobody else. Like it's your decision. You making that call. So had a conversation with the kid and the coach or whoever. But you should have that conversation, not throw it off to someone on the staff.
Yeah, I feel it ain't like I feel him, but Luke was gonna bitch either way. Like if the coach had did hit a note up and said, "Yo, my man, like we're going in a different direction," Luke was still gonna be like, we supposed to hold that be loyal to that offer. That's what he was really mad at. Like the offer didn't stand up anymore. And that's just business, man. That's just how this shit go now. Do I think I don't think I don't know, bro. We'll see what type of offers he has now, right?
Yeah, he got a few offers.
Who's looking at him, if you know?
It's gonna be like South Florida, Central Florida, Louisville, schools like that.
You think it'll be tomorrow or he's gonna wait to February?
I reached out to him and his dad. They didn't get back at me yet about that. So it might, I don't think it's gonna be February. It might get pushed back later on this week, depending on, you know what I'm saying, if he get the offer that he want.
He took visits at those other schools, if you know anything like that?
Yeah. He took visits. Well, before he committed to Florida, he took visits. Once he committed to Florida, he was all in. Like he was locked in all the way.
But he had plenty of time this fall to be like, yo, I might need a backup option, boy.
Truth be told, he did at one point love FSU at one point, but they never came his way.
Right. I mean, that's the game. Shout out to Luke. Luke gonna give it a Miami players gave him some heat back this week, so I don't think he worried about Nolan no more.
Nah, man. Luke. The crazy thing, man. Luke do all that talking and he rattled Miami fans, but Luke is all the way Miami, man. He don't care.
No doubt.
He just love all that anyway, so.
If we ain't got no Georgia guys, man, I'm about to wrap this up. I don't want to just be hanging out to hang out, bro. It's been quite the time with y'all boys. Y'all got any surprise flips, decommits, anything that could go down tomorrow? Come forward.
No surprises, man. We pretty much know everything that's going to happen for us, man. Like I said, it'd be just a regular, decent day, man.
Y'all said Mario was king, like Godzilla, like just gonna run through the streets and snatch everybody recruits, and we should all be scared, bro. And that's y'all ain't got no big smoke tomorrow.
We said we was gonna snatch everybody recruits tomorrow.
That's how y'all made it feel.
Yeah, that's definitely how the timeline was going. You know how that go.
Well, okay, so who Mario after everybody else? Because the only people he was going after was the West Coast kids.
Right.
He didn't elsewhere, right?
Yeah, he didn't really come like down here and attack any kids in the state.
I was surprised Earl didn't visit y'all this weekend. I think Alabama kind of green lighted him. He's probably
Earl Little done been visiting Miami since he was like 10 years old. He knows everything about you. So he said even when UM was in it, they wasn't gonna take the official visit because they visit down there all the time. The daddy go to the games, the son go to the games. They down there, so it was no sense for them to take visits.
Bugatti Bill.
I got me a little flight. I'll go on a limb and kind of throw out something that could possibly happen. FSU fans, keep an eye out for Kenyatta Goodwin, 5-star offensive tackle that's currently committed to Kentucky. Took an official visit down to the UM game. I know we had Trey Thomas was in the building for that game. Also, Walter Jones, Hall of Fame left tackle. He was in the building. They did a good job recruiting him. It's going to be interesting. I know the staff kind of went at home and they've been making some last-minute pitches to try to push for him. I'm not saying it's going to happen or anything like that, but if we have some wild signing day shenanigans that can kind of shake up the timeline, that'll be one.
Oh yeah, that kid is good. He's nice. He's nice at tackling.
Yeah, I think Mike Norvell went on record kind of saying that he's probably one of the best tackles that he's seen on the high school level. So just keep an eye out for that, FSU fans. If it does come into play, you know who told you first, right?
Yeah,
who your surprise is, Silk? Who your surprise is, Silk?
Oh, everybody's surprised for me right now because Bill said he wouldn't get nobody. So you set their expectations low. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's surprised tomorrow. No, I think I like where we at, man. I like that we swinging big too. We ain't settling. Everybody's like, yo, they just taking Louisiana's old commits and shit. But nah, man, we out to some of Georgia shit too. So that's what's up. We're gonna see if we flip 3 of their commits tomorrow. Because I think that Sean Washington is a little bit. I think that'd be interesting because if y'all flip him, bro, that's big time because he just committed to them boys recently. Yeah. We got some relationships there. We'll see what happens, but I think we flip him as well. I think we can get 3 off of Georgia shit. square up with them people. Let them see these hands real quick.
Man, y'all do that, man.
I'm like
Kirby on y'all last moving forward. Y'all
Kirby don't want this smoke, man. We'll see who we hire, but Kirby don't want we hire ace recruiters, man. Them boys down south trying to get Tim Brewster.
yeah. Hey, y'all going after Brew. Now we got to talk about that.
Oh man, when I seen that, I was like, man, I'm gonna just think it's a joke, man. But they actually say they had a conversation. I'm like,
bring Brew to Miami, baby.
Yeah, transfer all the jokes y'all had at me. Just transfer them shit right on over to Larian, bro.
Yeah,
right.
Man. Brew got he blocked me. Tell him unblock me, man.
Oh, dang. If you tell him you can help him get some recruits, he'll unblock you.
He'll unblock you real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
I don't like the blue stuff, man.
We gotta tell Aunt Luke to let Brew do his thing down there again, man. Open shot for Brew again.
Got a green light.
Yeah. That's his boy. Uncle Luke love him some Tim Brewster. So.
Yeah.
They're both on washed.
Right.
Shout out to Luke, man. But Brew washed, man. Brew washed out here a little bit. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, real quick before we get out of here, I want to give FSU fans just some dates, some times to kind of
for sure.
Yeah, kind of look at for tomorrow. Of course, Travis Hunter, he's expected to be in around 7 a.m. He's not having a ceremony. He's just kind of sending his stuff in. We know he's committing locked in, but we know with all the smoke to Georgia, things like that, that'll be one to kind of watch. Mortimer, he's signing around 2 p.m. DeCarlos Nicholson, the number 1 JUCO cornerback in the nation. He's an interesting prospect to look out for. You got he's committed. I think he's committed to Kentucky. But FSU, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State is in it. Azaria Thomas, he's expected to announce around noon or so. Like we said, Kamari Wilson around 4 o'clock. Kevin Coleman. Well, don't worry about Kevin Coleman. Just look for the game for Kevin Coleman. And Julian Armella, he's just going to be sending his letter of intent. He's really not having a ceremony. That's pretty much it. Marvin Jones Jr., he says it's going to get going around like 4:30 or so.
Yeah, like 4:30 or so.
Yeah, so be in tune. Well, I guess get ready for a long day of rumors in regards to Junior, where he's going, this, that, another, leading up to 4:30. So it's going to be a fun day tomorrow.
I ain't got no days and time. Sam McCall flipping. That's wild. I don't know about none.
Don't believe that, bro.
That's wild.
Don't put that out there.
Yeah, Trident says it's not happening. Shout out to the GOAT.
Trident has been on record. He's been real consistent with saying Travis Hunter would not sign with Florida State. He's been consistent with that.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that play out.
Travis Hunter ain't. He gonna be a no. Like that ain't not happening. I don't know where that smoke coming from anyway.
Yeah, I don't know either, man. Fawn recently just came out. He said he spoke to a source in regards to. I was going to ask him about it too, till he got off. But he recently came on and said a source told him in regards to asking about Travis Hunter, could he possibly flip to Georgia?
I think he's too far in, bro. Like he would just be. It would be just real. Like the guys he's recruiting to come to Florida State.
If it does happen, that might be the biggest. Like
right, that'd be crazy.
It'd be crazy.
I don't think he going nowhere. He locked in. Like he was born to be a Seminole. So.
I don't have no times and stuff like that right now. We're gonna have smoke. We got the edit team and everybody working on like a little calendar and schedule for tomorrow for the whole Big Three. Mm-hmm. But Gator fans, man, just roll up, vibe, enjoy your day. It's a hump day. It's gonna be nice out. Sky's gonna be blue. Might see a little orange at sunset. You know what I'm saying? But around 4:30, between 3:30 to 5, y'all boys just you know what I'm saying, pull up and kick your feet up. King shit going down. I don't know.
Georgia boys? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what Harlan just said.
I take some air out of my chest if the Georgia boys pulling up.
They said it was coming on hard to know. You can jump in if you want.
Yeah, I just messaged him, and he said, "When do y'all want me on?" Like he didn't even know. So I sent him the link.
Yeah, come on right now.
Yeah, I sent him the link and said, "Join now if you can. If not, no biggie." So I guess I'll know here in the next few seconds.
Nah, we know.
Yeah, I sent him the link as well. So, if not, man, quite a show. We got some content out. We've been vibing. Great vibrations. What time your people committing tomorrow?
Man, I think we get our first commit. I think Kamari Rogers, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's supposed to be at 10 or 9, one of them.
Who you choosing between?
Down
to y'all.
Yeah, he already committed, so he'll be a Kane. Him and Isaiah Horton. We spoke with the parents, and they both was concerned about the situation what happened with Manny Diaz, and we basically told him, like, man, the coach that was coming in, it was going, he gonna make sure your kids are right. You know what I'm saying? Which was Mario, so they feel comfortable with him. So we'll be all right with that. So.
They weren't like concerned that y'all did Manny greasy. They ain't care about that.
Nah. We did him greasy, or Manny did himself greasy.
I gotta hype it up.
Games, man.
It's a little bit of both, bro. I think it could have been. I think Manny could have been treated a little bit better, bro.
All right, okay. So now let me explain this situation. What happened with Manny? His dad, like his daddy and this guy named Epstein, they are the cause why Manny's situation happened like that.
Yeah, you say they was playing the political game.
The dad was telling them, like, man, y'all ain't finna fire my son during the season. Like, it's not finna happen. You know what I'm saying? So he using his political power somehow. I don't even know how he got it, because he's not even in power no more. But they using that, and we're like, nah, I'm not gonna fire my son during the season, and the situation happened. All right, we're gonna play that game too. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna drag it. You're getting fired, but we're gonna drag it. We're gonna wait till your buyout goes down. Yeah, we ain't finna pay you no $9 million. Nah.
Yeah, if it actually played out like that, and they ain't just message board rumors, then that's kind of set the stage for himself, but still to the rest of like coaches.
Yeah, I mean,
do you think that affect y'all with big assistants trying to with Mario trying to sign?
Nah.
No,
because with the new AD, the new AD and Mario, they'll negotiate the situation with the coaches. And that was the other thing. Why? Because once they fired Blake James, they didn't have anybody to negotiate contracts with coaches no more. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, let's just go after the guy we want, which was Mario. We got him. Then we could get the AD so we can start negotiating coaches contracts.
I forgot to ask the Clemson guy what type of AD dude was. But
yeah, that was a good question for him. It's crazy because the people we had on the show had a lot of ties to, what's going on, what we're doing. It's wild.
Right. Yeah,
that was a good question. Yeah, but just speak with the people I know. He's a real good AD, real good fundraising guy, bringing a lot of money. He could be headed towards retirement in a couple of years, but I think by that time the job would be done. Well, the job will be done in regards to what he wants to do with Miami.
Oh yeah. I mean, he basically saying he want to get it back to the atmosphere of how the city of Miami was electrifying before you went.
So what are you gonna do today? You better do some magic. You better go see the Woo lady down there. You want all that?
But then with John Ruiz, with him talking about building the stadium, and they talking about trying to add buildings, football, sport buildings around this campus now. So
for football laws, y'all getting y'all standing alone?
I don't know, man. They saying it, but if y'all been down to that campus, I don't know where
the space at. See, that's the. And I'm glad you mentioned that, bro. Because that's like the biggest. Even though I think they kind of zoned in on the spot for FSU and where they're going to build that. But if you've been up to Tallahassee and you've been around FSU campus, the space is real limited in regards to building something like that. So they're going to have to get real creative. I know one of the plans were to kind of make it going vertically instead of horizontally due to the space. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, that's a really good point in regards to building those facilities as the space you have. And I mentioned this on a previous pod, like Clemson, for instance, they got nothing but land up there.
Nothing but land. They got the land to build.
Exactly. They buy their land, chop down whatever, build whatever they need. But with places like Miami and Tallahassee, it's real interesting in regards to
the circus. Oh, y'all like it. Y'all like it a lot.
Oh, we love our circus, man. Watch out with the circus, bro. And the circus been going on for a long time in Tallahassee. That's a big Tallahassee staple. Yeah, and also, Harlan just threw this in here. I guess I should mention this. Destiny Hill, the 4-star receiver that we signed last year with FSU, wasn't able to get on campus due to some issues he had off field. Everything does pan out for him to come and enroll to FSU in January.
Oh, so nice. That's dope.
Yeah, so that will be a big help. He was my number one receiver last year, just on the board. I love Destiny Hill, man.
Yeah, I had him high on my board.
You guys had him too.
Yeah, we had him, and then the staff backed off at the very end. They
probably stuff. Exactly. They probably backed off for the same reasons, but we we ain't had that damn luxury to back off. We needed that boy bad. And
they were like with the T2 situation last year.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted him until they backed off. Like, oh, man.
What are you hearing on T2 right now?
You want to come back home?
Think he'll be a take? And I heard, I don't know if this is true. Now, you could probably explain this a little bit better. That kind of swayed Wesley from us to UM at that point in time. It's just him talking to T2 and kind of playing together again.
Tell people who T2 is, man.
T2 Chancellor is what he's like, the number one linebacker in the nation last year. 2021.
Yeah, 21.
End up committing to Tennessee first. You know, Tennessee. I mean, I might well say it. They threw a major bag because
people got to remember Pruitt that early pandemic class. That Pruitt, man, that shit was crazy.
It was major. It was major. But
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Them saving boys, them boys all saving tree. They know how to find the money.
The crazy thing is, I told everybody, Tennessee. I said Tennessee, they shooting too fast. Like, man, they better slow down.
Tennessee got that bag too.
Yeah, they got a big money.
That's what I was telling you, man. Like, if they get the right guy in, I feel like that shit could be rolling for Tennessee because they go.
Any school.
Tennessee got big boy money. They got big boy money. They always have.
They got bread. Yeah, they got long old money.
Yeah. But yeah, T2. He ended up decommitting. Then he chose Maryland. He went out there with Brian and he hurt his knee. Had to sit out. Well, his senior year he was playing with a bad knee. His whole senior year, and he still was like lights out. So now he's in the portal, homesick, want to come back home. He gonna have to have a sit down with Mario. Him and Mario gonna have to have like a one-on-one sit down. It can't be like.
I think this man a Godfather.
No. I'm just saying because.
No, I gotta have that conversation.
In order for Mario to take him, it got to be like a personal one-on-one level talk. You know
the talent's there. So explain what the sit down is about because everybody know he's a very talented linebacker. So
he got in trouble in the past, and it wasn't. I'm not gonna say it wasn't major, but it wasn't. I didn't think it was that serious, but everybody else thought it was a lot more serious than what it was, and then that's how a lot of schools backed off on him. But the talent is there, but like I say, they say he's a troublesome kid. He doesn't get in trouble, but that's just the image that everybody gave him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So our previous staff, they didn't want that, which was dumb. You know what I'm saying? Y'all always got troublesome kids. Why you don't want one? You know what I'm saying? Bring them on. So we'll see how that goes, though.
Yeah, you got to try to toe that. It's always that line of how talented a kid is versus how much trouble they bring. And you try to figure out like the risk versus the reward a little bit. But we never won without a few troublemakers on the roster.
That's what I'm saying. Like
all these programs, like Florida State, Florida, and Miami, have all won big with
That's how we was all good. Like you say,
some energy on the roster.
We got some.
You got some guys that are rough your collar a little bit, but you got to have those guys.
And not just rough for you, like the rough for the whole locker room, like just hold people accountable. You need some gangsters on the roster. That's what
exactly. That's another thing that you got to have those guys that's gonna hold the team accountable too.
Right.
So the coaches can't really put hands. Well, they can't at all. I'm not gonna say really. There's in and out. They can't put hands on them, but them players, they'll have some straightening going on in the locker room.
I tell Kings fans all the time. I say, man, until we get us a Nate Webster on our team, man, we gonna be soft forever, man. Because y'all like. You playing the game, you lose to the team, and then you instantly go to social media and you congratulating them and say, "Hey, boy, that was a."
You know what my favorite shit is on social media with the young boys now, these players when they tag when they mousing somebody or scoring somebody and they tag them in IG posts. That's my shit. I love that, dog. That's so disrespectful.
Yeah, them boys be with it.
Yeah, they tag like yo, you tagging each other like that. That's like violence, bro. I swing on you about that.
Right.
Did you see the one where we was playing Michigan and Gervin Hall did the dumb play? And the receiver had tagged Gervin Hall, and I was like, man, I say, dog, this is your wife. Like everybody gonna know you from that play.
Right. Yeah, it's real disrespectful. We're not gonna wait on these Georgia boys, man. They got number one class. They think they can just do what they want to do around here.
Right, bro. They think they can just pop in whenever, huh?
That's why you about to flip their shit tomorrow.
Yeah, no Kamara, no MJ3.
Once again, man, shout out to the great folks at Smoke Trial Lawyers, man. Anything you need as far as injury, car accident, hit and run, advice, business, lawyer contracts for anything, legal. Everybody hitting me up now talking about they want to come on the show. No, bro, we better get out of here. Shout out to my man.
We're gonna keep doing these, so this is pretty cool. We're gonna keep doing.
Yeah, we're gonna pop up a couple more times throughout the week. I think we got some coaching announcements. A lot of things will be going down this week. It's a very busy week. On the RollUp Network, we're gonna be popping up. Stadium Miguel gonna be popping up. 26 degrees gonna be popping up. A lot of RollUp Network pop-ups all week. But be sure to give my man Bill a call. 813-221-1331. If you're in an accident, hit and run, injured, you just need trial lawyers, give my man Bill a call again. Bill Smoke. Big time Gator fan, big time booster, and my guy been supporting and holding us down for a few years now. Appreciate it, Bill.
Yes,
we out of here, man. It's the RollUp Network.
All right, fellas, peace.
Yes, sir.